The 80s and 90s are considered by most the golden age of the slasher. I mean, just look at the lineup it produced. Chucky, Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, Leatherface, and Ghostface. There was also quite a few hidden B-list slashers. Within that 20-year period, we'd seen some strange occurrences, some more known than others. Which brings me to the video's topic at hand of when sidekicks invaded the slasher genre. 1988 would be the spark of this occurrence, as both Jason and Michael would go on to encounter sidekicks. Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood, would release May of 1988, and Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, would go on to release October of 1988. 6 films in, the Friday the 13th series would touch on the paranormal in Part 6, as Jason would be reanimated after a lightning strike, giving us what the fandom calls Zombie Jason. But I don't think anyone expected what Part 7 had in store for audiences though. We're following final girl Tina. Similar to your typical shonen protag, seeing a loved one get hurt ends up sparking the birth of newfound ability. Tina uses her telekinesis that collapses a bridge and ends up crushing her father to death. These traumatic events would land Tina in a mental institute, where she'd be assigned a personal psychiatrist named Dr. Cruz. Cruz, in an attempt to understand Tina's abilities at max potential, decides to take Tina back to the place where her troubles all began, Camp Crystal Lake. Shortly after arriving at the camp, Tina attempts to use her telekinetic ability to communicate with her deceased father, but ends up reviving a drowned Jason Voorhees. Zombie Jason is now back and more gruesome than ever. This nigga is jumping through windows. Tina also showcases precognition in this film. She's seeing how her fellow counselors will die, but she cannot do anything about it. Tina's abilities on some Scarlet Witch shit get stronger the more stress she gets. Bodies keep dropping and eventually Tina says, fuck it, it's time to fight back. And to be honest, she was giving Jason problems. She uses live wires in a puddle to knock bro unconscious. She hangs Jason from the ceiling and throws bro down into the basement. Even attempts, and if not for Jason already being dead, attempts to make Jason's head fucking explode. Trust me, she was putting forth the effort. Like, Tina was the ultimate crybaby, but she was putting belt to ass. But we don't know how she achieved these abilities or how she ever got them. It was never explained. But abilities and all, this was high-key one of Jason's greatest film feats. Going against a final girl with telekinesis, precog, and her power gets stronger the more stress she gets. This nigga Jason kept coming back for more. Like, bro was still a force. He wasn't handicapped or anything to let Tina shine. To add emphasis on Jason being a force, Tina had to pull a summoning jutsu out her ass to stop this man. Like, that guy is her father who died well over a decade ago. Pops casually comes up, chains Jason's neck again, and pulls him back into the lake. Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, would follow months after Friday the 13th Part 7. We're introduced to Jamie Lloyd. She is the niece of Michael Myers. She's a part of an alternate Halloween timeline called the Thorn Trilogy. We'll save that for another video. But yeah, Jamie in her debut was actually pretty normal. As you can probably guess, the mother of Jamie Lloyd is of course Laurie Strode. In this timeline, she died prior to the events of Halloween 4. How? We have no idea. Laurie Strode now out of the picture, Jamie is now the official target of Michael Myers. Think of it of like a passing of the torch type of app. Part 4 was cool though. I enjoyed Jamie as a character. I enjoyed Jamie as a final girl. Things really wouldn't get interesting until the end of the film though, as after successfully escaping Michael and making it back home, Jamie seems fascinated with Michael. This fascination would go on to get the best of Jamie, as she'd go on to kill her foster mother in cold blood, in a random ass outburst of rage, similar to how Michael first began. It'd only take a year for Jamie to get a second film, that film being Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. Okay, so after Jamie's random psychotic episode, it's left her mute, much like Michael was at her age. Jamie is now without foster parents and real parents. She's 2 for 2. Now her home is a children's mental institute. The real big change is Jamie can now sense when Michael is near. She has a telepathic bond with him. It's been doing more harm than good to Jamie though. Anytime she senses Michael is about to kill someone, she gets seizure-like symptoms. What kinda confused me is Jamie would get these type of symptoms when it was someone close to her, for the most part. But when Michael killed the hobo, she was also spazzing out. But every other nameless kill that Michael gets, she doesn't spaz out. Anyway, Jamie only being able to communicate via sign language doesn't help either, because as soon as she senses Michael, her body is useless now. Jamie is struggling to save the people she cares about with this newfound ability. Jamie can only use her telepathy when Michael is about to attack. Loomis and authorities ask her to write down what she sees. Loomis goes so far as to ask Jamie if she's protecting Michael. Like, be so for real, bro. Come on now. The ability only activates when danger is imminent. Otherwise than that, Michael free roaming, she cannot get a lock on, bro, at all. And she's only 9 years old. What the hell is she supposed to do? Oh yeah, that's right. Jamie is a final girl. Of course she's gonna take this shit into her own hands. The only person Jamie's got left is Tina, and she refuses to let Michael take Tina away from her. Jamie, with the assistance from Billy, regains her resolve and regains her ability to communicate. Jamie races to the party to save Tina, and almost succeeds in doing so, but in the end, Jamie failed to protect Tina. Now with Tina dead, Jamie decides, fuck it, let's kill this nigga instead. There ain't shit else to save, fuck it, let's just kill him. Jamie is now eyeing to kill Michael, as she teams up with Dr. Loomis to formulate a plan. The plan is to lure Michael back to his old home, with Jamie serving as bait, as the police and Dr. Loomis hide and execute an ambush. This ambush actually succeeds, but Dr. Loomis kinda passes out like the old fart he is and butchers the whole plan. Michael got knocked unconscious, and soon Dr. Loomis followed him and going unconscious himself. What's hilarious is they don't even kill Michael, like they did as put him in a cop car, drive him to a police station, and put him in a fucking jail cell. But remember, this is an alternate timeline. Michael is broken out of jail by the Cult of the Thorn on some legit mafia type shit. Jamie would go on to be killed in the Curse of Michael Myers within the first 20 minutes, which was pure grade A bullshit. Thorn series was so ass, but this would conclude Jamie's involvement with the Halloween franchise. Daniela Harris would go on to make appearances in Rob Zombie's Halloween and Halloween 2, but only as a side character named Annie. Nothing canon to the Thorn series. This leads us to our remaining sidekick final girl. Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan, aka the funniest film in the Friday series. After getting eliminated via summoning jutsu, Jason is back after being struck by lightning via underwater fiber optic cable. Yes, an underwater fiber optic cable. You know what's so crazy? Every time Jason has died, someone has brought him back. Notice as the Friday the 13th series progresses, Jason gets more brutal as time goes by. And it's understandable. Like, bro, just let me die in peace for once. Anyways, we're following final girl Rennie. Rennie is a special case, okay? After falling into Crystal Lake at a young age, Rennie came into contact with spirit form Jason. Ever since then, she's experienced PTSD and hasn't found a way to overcome it. See, these aren't your standard hallucinations. Rennie sees spirit form Jason warp through a bathroom window and choke her, and she goes to wash her hands and blood appears. In the midst of all of this, spirit form Jason asks Rennie for help every time he comes into contact with her. That's all he'll say, implying he likely wants put out of his misery for good this time. Like, eternally. Rennie and her friends happen to be on their trip, prepping for their graduation via sailing to New York. Jason turned Olympic swimmer or boat captain, whichever one you'd like to believe, as he makes his way onto Rennie and her class's boat to wreak absolute havoc. Eventually our cast spills over into New York and ends in New York. See, Rennie's go around was pretty, I don't want to say lame, it was tame. I'll say it was tame. Ghost Jason repeating constantly that he wants put out of his misery while Jason keeps on going on a rampage. It was cool. Jason is like a rabid animal, and with all rabid animals, eventually they'll have to be put down. Take it to the woods, feel me? Rennie does get pushed overboard of the ship, and Jason does attempt to drown her. Shout Jason, that is. But what's so odd is Tommy and Tina never experienced a paranormal version of Jason. Tommy's go around was pure PTSD. Tina's go around was pure PTSD. Rennie's was PTSD, but this is more so paranormal. She's seeing a past version of Jason consistently, and it's followed her for years. Spirit form Jason is communicating with Rennie. Rennie seeing spirit form Jason actually at one point causes her to crash out literally in hopes of finally putting bro to rest. After making their way down to the sewers of New York after a cat and mouse montage, Rennie and Sean finally grants Jason's wish. They first douse Jason in toxic waste, where eventually he's just swept away into shit. And again, why I say this was not just hallucinations, but paranormal? After bathing in toxic waste, Rennie sees Jason revert back to his childlike form, symbolizing his soul has finally been put to rest. He's no longer begging for help anymore, and he's not dirty anymore, he's clean. He's pure. Of course, this would mean absolutely nothing though, as Part 9 would come along and Part 9 was Part 9. What's wild is these 4 films all came within 2 years and just months apart from each other. Part 7 and Halloween 4 came months before each other. Part 8 and Halloween 5 came just months between each other. As a horror fan, it makes me sad that my favorites are way before my time. Like, I would have killed to see these films firsthand. No pun intended. But yeah, when sidekicks invaded the slasher genre. Let me hear your thoughts on these final girls. Did you enjoy these films? Who's your favorite sidekick in horror? Appreciate you guys watching. Like and sub for more. Dipping my hand in a horror bag always helps me with my writer's block. Peace.